In a field lies hope, anticipation. From the biggest races to the brightest stages, taking you on the wildest ride.
Forbidden Trade with a gigantic upset. Best in show.
For the glory, the pride, the payoff. Enter the field, the Ontario Sire Stakes program, from Ontario Farms to the world stage.
WINMEBAK Farm of Canada is home to 8 outstanding pacers, including $2 million earner and O'Brien Horse of the Year betting line, who is new to Canada in 2022. Look for first crop yearlings from these 3 standout stallions in 2022. O'Brien Award winner and earner of over $1.4 million, Jimmy Freight, Horse of the Year and richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, McWicked, and O'Brien Award winner and Metro Pace champion, Stag Party. Also standing millionaires, Art Spink, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and Shadow Play. For more information, visit winbakfarm.com. That's winbakfarm.com.
Welcome to Twos in Training. I'm Jaimi MacDonald, and today we're connecting with Nick Gallucci. He earned over $2.1 million as a career year last year, but that wasn't his biggest accomplishment. He was connected to 5 O'Brien Award nominations, and a few of them winners. So let's step into the Gallucci stable and see what's up this season. Joins us now. Thank you for inviting us over and having us at the farm here.
It's always really welcoming to have a nice setup here and having everybody come visit.
Before we take a look at your babies and what's happening this year, let's just recap last year. You had a phenomenal year. Can you put it into words after kind of, going through the last few months, looking back on it?
Well, when you're in the moment in racing, you don't really, visualize how well the year went, but then when you look back, it really starts to see the big picture, and we accomplished a lot more than what I could have ever imagined with the homebreds that we had. It went really well.
And where can we see some of those O'Brien Award nominees and winners this summer?
Well, this is Better Have My Money right here. He's we had to give him a little bit of time. He started having an issue with an ankle, so I'm hoping to have him back by July. Silver Label's going to start on May 14th. She came down a little bit sick, and we had to scratch her last Friday, but that was just an overnight, so we're hoping to have her game face on for the SBOA. And Prohibition Legal, she's got another qualifier Friday. She qualified well last week. We'll see how she qualifies Friday, and then kind of make a plan from there with her.
And what are you most looking forward to this upcoming season?
Well, it's hard to say. You really hope that you have some nice 2-year-olds, but obviously my 3-year-olds were really nice from last year, so excited to see them come back and race. And I'm really looking forward to some of the Grand Circuit races we're eligible for at Mohawk.
Let's rewind a little bit. And how did you get connected with George? You're stabled at his farm here, and just tell us about that relationship.
It's obviously a really nice relationship that we have together. It's a working relationship, obviously, but he kind of gives me free rein with the horses, which is really nice. And we both really want to see the horses, on top of their game when they race, right? So it's, it's give and take, but, usually we're on the same page with, most things with the horses. And as long as they race well, everything seems to run smoothly. We started our relationship 2015. There was a horse that I bought from George, Burning Shore, and I did quite well with him. And then when I called to buy another one a few years later, he declined to sell me the horse, but he gave him to me to train, and our relationship kind of built from there. And he offered me the permanent training for him, privatized a few years ago, and I jumped at the opportunity.
It's been a great opportunity for you the last few years. But if we go back a little bit further, how about your start in the industry and growing up watching the races, where you came from and where you are now? What kind of journey has that been for you?
Well, if you could really say from the start, I really started from nothing. My grandfather, he always had a hobby farm in St. George, which is not far from Brantford, where I grew up. So our family spent a lot of time there, and just kind of got addicted to going to the races with him, and learning the ropes from him. And then I went to Florida when I was 18. School wasn't really working out for me, so I tried working with the horses in Florida, and just from there, just kind of built my knowledge, and eventually, at some point, you try to train your own horses, and same thing there. I started with a few horses, a couple claimers. I was really lucky. A friend of mine, Bruno Didiometti, gave me an opportunity, and we did very well together, and then just kind of built it from there. It's all for me personally, it was more or less getting an opportunity and trying to take advantage of it the best you can, right? So I had a couple lesser claimers, and I did well with them, and then another guy sent me a horse, and it ended up being Synerco Ventures' brother, and I did well with that horse, and then he started sending me horses, and then just kind of snowballed from there. And I can't really thank everybody enough for all the opportunities I've had over the years.
And you've taken these opportunities and really ran with them. And even in the OSS program last year, you had a phenomenal season. And what about the OSS program do you like, and what stands out about it for you?
Well, I think it's a really good program for the horses, because you don't necessarily have to have all gold horses to develop them into becoming nice race horses. And obviously the really nice thing of being in Ontario is that it's all local, so you don't have to ship across North America to make really good money with the horses. So we have enough other races for the Ontario side horses where you don't have to go anywhere to really put some money in the bank, which is nice.
And do you find your horses kind of go up and down throughout the levels, or do you kind of stick with what you start with in the spring?
Well, you don't really have a good idea how good they are until they qualify, so I try not to make any judgments until then. But I try to. I don't like going behind the gate being long odds, so I try to race them where they're going to have the best chance to win.
Absolutely. So let's take a review over some of the horses we saw today. The first one we're going to look at is Looks Like Game On. This one is from Harrisburg for $77,000.
Yeah, he's a really nice colt. I just trained him a slow trip today by himself. His partner, we had to give a little bit of a break to. But, he can be a little irritable at times. First trip, he, usually a lot more aggressive than the second trip. But today he was really quiet. We made a few changes, and I was really happy with how he went today. But, I don't think it's going to be any problem getting him to the races. He's got all the tools that he needs.
Next up, you have your filly, Honey Love.
She's just been a sweetheart from day one. Sitting behind, she's quiet as a mouse, and when you move her, she really wants to pass the horse in front of her. Can't really say enough about her. She's just been doing everything fantastic. And she's a big gym, and I really like big gyms, so looking forward to her.
And how about Save the Last Dance?
She's a full sister to Silver Label. Silver Label seemed to be a lot more natural than her, but this filly, she's got a really quick turn of foot. She is a little bit funny sitting behind horses. We've been really taking our time with her, and as soon as she has some daylight, she's all business. So,
have you found that there's certain ones that you struggle a little bit more, take longer, and kind of how do you deal with those ones that don't like sitting behind the horses, but they have to learn?
Well, you just try to give them as much education as you can. We're basically taking them from a field and trying to make them into a racehorse, right? So, yeah, you have to teach them everything they need to know, and from there it's going to be up to them. There's obviously, there's some equipment changes you can make here or there, but I think just getting into the routine of being in sets and being with other horses, I think that's the most important thing, training the horses down.
And how about your WINMEBAK speedy colt, WINMEBAK?
He's just been he's been a bit of a troublesome horse at first, but now he's a gelding, and he's a lot more focused on his work, and yeah, he's just been doing everything really well lately. I'm a little bit farther behind this year than I was last year with a bunch of my 2-year-olds, but right now it feels like he could go wherever I want. I'm really impressed with him.
You know what? We've talked to a few people doing these, and everyone kind of says that we've had a month there where it was really tough to get on the track.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I remember last year, May 1st, we were training them in the race bikes in 2.8, and now it's May 10th today, and I haven't even had them in the race bikes yet. So, you know, lucky we have George here, and he understands, and you know, he knows we're not going to bring them until they're ready. And you know, the biggest thing, I don't want to break their confidence or hurt them. So, you know, when they show up to the track, they're going to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last one here, we have Moonstruck.
She's been a bit of a challenge at first. She's got a bit too tight of a hobble on her right now, but she seems like she needs to be studied a little bit in the turns. She's a sister to a mare I used to train for, George Kloof Street, and seems like they both have really good attitudes. So, you know, I'm anxious to see what she does when she gets into a group of horses. She seems like one that I think we'll really start to see her progress once she gets onto a bigger track. The half mile, I think, is going to suit her very well.
And do you find that a lot with them, or just depends kind of on the horse? It doesn't matter really about their training style, just the size of track depends on the horse?
I think so, yeah. I think it's based a lot on their gait. A lot of horses, they just don't like going through the tighter turns. You know, then you have some, you know, that just seem like they're going to go the same speed no matter what track they're on. But this filly in particular, she seems to struggle a little bit on her tight turns, so I'm anxious to get her over to Mohawk and start training her in the race bike there, probably in a month's time.
We're really excited to see what you guys have in store for 2022. And after last year, do you find that there's more pressure this year, or, you know, the understanding and the great relationship that you have with George is so amazing and comfortable that you guys understand each other and where the horses are at each year?
Yeah, I think so. I think most of the pressure, you know, put on the horses here is from myself. Like, I don't like, you know, I want to see them all do well, and I want to see them, you know, perform at their best ability. George is just happy seeing them race. I want to see them race and win. So we'll play it by ear and do our best.
We enjoy watching your horses come back and see how these ones do this summer. So good luck in this season.
Thank you very much, Jamie.
In a field lies hope, anticipation. From the biggest races to the brightest stages, taking you on the wildest ride.
Forbidden Trade with a gigantic upset. Best in show.
For the glory, the pride, the payoff. Enter the field, the Ontario Sire Stakes program, from Ontario Farms to the world stage.
WINMEBAK Farm of Canada is home to 8 outstanding pacers, including $2 million winner and O'Brien Horse of the Year betting line, who is new to Canada in 2022. Look for first crop yearlings from these 3 standout stallions in 2022. O'Brien Award winner and earner of over $1.4 million, Jimmy Freight, Horse of the Year and richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, McWicked, and O'Brien Award winner and Metro Pace champion, Stag Party. Also standing millionaires, Art Spink, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and Shadow Play. For more information, visit winbakfarm.com. That's winbakfarm.com.